we're going to do two more really quick things here just to wrap components up. We're going to go ahead and so over here, as you can see, it's getting a little bit messy. Typically, we want to have our components and things such as color schemes on a separate page in our design, so it doesn't kind of make our workspace busy here. So Figma lets you create multiple pages inside of your file by just going up here to where it says page 1 right now. This is currently the page that we're on. It's called page 1. But we can go ahead and rename it to, let's do mockups. And then let's go ahead and create another page by clicking the plus icon here and doing maybe components. And then go ahead and click plus, and let's just do another one for styles. So let's go ahead into our mockup. Let's go ahead and just select the color scheme group here and use Command X. Go back to styles. Let's paste that in here. Cool. And then now let's go back to mockups. Select the two components we have here. Use Command X again to cut. Then go here to our components page and paste them here. There we go. Cool. So now I want to do another thing here with the button component. Typically buttons have multiple states. So we have a button that might be disabled. So this can tell the user that right now they can't use that button. And then we have a button usually in an enabled state. So a button like this usually tells the user that it's enabled. But what if we want to create another type of button that tells users that the button is disabled? So to do that, we're going to go ahead and use Alt and drag an instance away from the component here. And then actually we're gonna turn this instance into a component itself by creating a component. In the layers here, let's go ahead and rename this button to disabled and the other one to enabled. So make sure to follow this convention here, button / enabled, and then button / disabled for the bottom one here. So let's go ahead and select this disabled button here. Let's go ahead and first detach the style here and then change the fill of the button to maybe, I think a nice kind of gray here would work. Let's do this color right here, A9, A9, A9. And one last thing I'm going to quickly do in here, I'm going to go ahead and just change the text here. And as you can see, now it's changed in the other button as well. And the reason for that is that we've turned an instance of this button into a component. So it's still related to this button and the changes that we make to it. So again, make sure this one's called button / disabled and the other one button / enabled. I'll show you in a second why that's important. So now if you go back to your mockup page here, that looks a lot cleaner, by the way. Now you'll see my text here has changed back to button. We need to change this to login. That's because we didn't overwrite the text to login. We just used whatever the component had. So when we changed it to button, it changed the text here as well. But the other one stayed the same because we did make that override for the text here. Now, if I select a button and go to the instance panel here, I can actually go ahead and choose disabled or enabled. How cool is that? We forgot to do one last thing here, and that has to do with the tutorial card here, and that's to assign the same button to it as well. So let's go back to components, and then let's go ahead and copy this component, and then go ahead inside of a tutorial card, paste. And so now we have an instance of that button. So we're just going to go ahead and overwrite the width here to 253 pixels as well. And go ahead and put this on top of the other one. And let's go ahead and delete the next button from our component here. And then before we move forward, let's do next here, just because most of my components will use a next button, except for the very last page of the tutorial. We're just going to change that to done. So let's do that by going back to mockups. And then if I scroll down to the very last page, I can overwrite this button's text by clicking into it and then typing done. And so now you see we have exactly what we want. Now I know we learned a lot here today. But these are all very important concepts in Figma and very, very powerful and useful tools. And I really want you to get an understanding and really take advantage of it in your own projects. I think we're ready to move on to our payment page. And so we'll do that in the next lesson.